All right, today I'm going to give you a few tips when it comes to painting shakes. So I have some, shakes right here. Whenever I'm painting shakes, I want them to look like they were actually wood shakes and have, that flavor, that uniqueness to them. One of the things I always do with my shakes is I paint them flat. So I don't want them to look like the siding. I typically paint the siding satin because I want it to be durable. I want it to be, cleanable, washable. There's wood shakes. There's cedar. So you'll see cedar shakes. There's concrete shakes, which are hardy plank shakes. And then there's these shakes right here, which are composite shakes. So they look like wood shakes, but they're made out of the same material as this siding is made out of. It's just some ground up fibers glued together, pressed, and got like a paper over the top of it. And it looks like wood, but it's not. If the shakes are concrete sided, same thing, concrete siding, hardy plank, we paint it. It comes out pre-primed. I'm gonna paint it once again flat because I want it to look true. You do not want to paint wood shakes. You want to add a wood stain to them. If you paint wood shakes, they're more likely gonna peel. A stain is gonna absorb into the wood and it's self-priming. You're not gonna have to prime it. So that's the proper way to do wood shakes, and your stains are flat. And so the stains will keep the shakes looking true. A lot of the times the shakes, for some reason, they blister really bad, and they do blister in the seams really bad. Prior to doing any painting of a flat paint, I'll go up there and I use triple thick primer, and I'll prime all the blistering. And it's typically, once again, I take a brush and it's in those slats. It's very common that there's blisters in there. You want to fill those blisters in. You want to glue those things together before you paint them. You don't want to do anything like that after the painting process. So it's pretty typical. I'd go up there and you'll see triple thick primer all over those slats. I don't know why, for some reason, those blister, more than say like the siding. It could be like on those gable ends, the gables get a lot hotter because it's in the attic and it's not, insulated like it is on the side walls. But triple thick primer is a super high resin primer that will glue all that blistering together. Then I'll spray it. Another tip, when I spray the shakes, now I say when I spray the siding, I go with the grain of the siding. The siding runs horizontally, and I spray horizontally. When it comes to the shakes, you don't want to spray horizontally on the shakes. You want to spray vertically. You've got all these vertical random lines on there, and if you spray it vertically, it's less likely that it'll be noticeable when you do that. So that's a tip that I always like to tell my guys: spray vertically. And then another thing is the bottom of the shakes are flat, and so if you spray at it flat, that bottom, like quarter inch, half inch of each one of those laps of the shake, it's not going to get paint on it, and it is pretty open and it's pretty porous. So you want to definitely be shooting up at an angle. So when I'm shooting the shakes, I'm spraying in an upward motion. So my gun, it's going to be turned this direction. I'm going to be shooting it up in an angle like this. So I'm getting up underneath each one of those laps of the shakes. Sometimes it's difficult because you're on a high ladder and stuff, but try to practice those techniques. If you do all that stuff, all these tips I've given you, your shakes will look amazing, just like those shakes too. So just some tips and tricks when it comes to painting shakes.